What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Professor Anime coming back at you with another video. Okay, so sorry about the late uploads. I deeply apologize for that. I know for a fact I'm probably behind an episode or two when it comes to not all the anime, but there have been some anime which I know for a fact there is an episode or two behind that I need to catch up on. But you know, when life gets in the way, it's kind of hard to actually make time for YouTube and review, you know, the stuff that I need to get out there. But I'm trying my best. But I have caught up to Ajin. So in today's video, guys, I am here to bring you a Ajin review of episodes 3, 4, and 5. So let's get this started. Just a little disclaimer, I'm probably going to go over each episode fairly quickly, pretty much over the most important parts that I think were in the episode. So I'm trying to condense this all into one video, so I'm probably going to make it as fast and quick as I possibly can. So please bear with me on that. Now, once you watch episodes 3 and 4, you're probably going to be left a little confused. At least I was. First, let's go over what happened in episode 3. So in episode 3, we see that Kei and Kai are still on the run. And then there's that one scene where a motorcyclist spots Kei and he goes directly after them, obviously to claim the reward if you end up turning in the Ajin to the government. And Kei and Kai end up falling off a railing, and they fall down, and it seems like Kai is dead because, Kei ended up breaking his legs during that fall. Kai, on the other hand, he is a human. Kei is an Ajin, so that's most likely why he survived. Kei, on the other hand, he gone, man, he gone. And then the motorcyclist comes across Kei, and he is about to call the police. Ironically enough, turns out that there is no signal in the area, and then that is when Kai ends up making the jump on the motorcyclist and beats the living crap out of him. And then after that, pretty much Kai and Kei are alright at that point, and they escape in order to find shelter. But there was one scene that really confused me. Like, it didn't necessarily confuse me. It's just, I want to believe that Kai is an Ajin. However, he is human from what we know. But, like, I don't know. There's something about Kai that makes me want to believe he is an Ajin. I think from what people have said in the comments down below from my last few episode reviews of Ajin is that they haven't at least discovered that Kai is an Ajin yet. So maybe Kai is an Ajin, but maybe he will become an Ajin later down the line. He is just really hiding it very well. We just don't know that yet. But there was that one scene where I had to laugh a little bit, I chuckle, because of how weird that scene played out. Because there was a few faults in the CGI. I mean, obviously this is 3D animation, but it was funny to me because, like, Kei, after the whole motorcycle incident, he didn't want Kai to patch him up. Because, you know, that would just put too much pressure onto Kai to deal with, and obviously because they are runaways, pretty much running away from everybody in the vicinity, you know, they are trying to wrap up time and go as fast as possible, and this would just make more time to obviously patch up Kei. So what Kei decides to do is grab the motorcyclist's blade, and he freaking just cuts himself. He dead. And then they're back alive. Now, this is the part that confused me in the episode the most. We see a other Ajin actually make an appearance. His name is Sato. He is an old man with a hat. And in the beginning of this episode, he completely destroys the guards. Well, obviously we can assume that because there's blood on the wall. But he comes to save the Ajin that was currently being experimented on. Okay? The one that was being shot multiple times. And we come to find out that apparently this Ajin that was being experimented on is named Tanaka. Now, if we go back to episode 1, Tanaka was shown at the very end of the episode watching the news of the newly discovered Ajin, Kei. Okay? And he had the red and white jacket on. Now, this is what confuses me. Who exactly is the old man talking to? Is this the real Tanaka, the Ajin Tanaka, or is this Tanaka's Ajin that is being experimented on while Tanaka is roaming freely? And then I guess when the old man ended up saving the Ajin part of Tanaka, that is when we come to find out the end of, technically the very end of this episode is when Izumi is interrogating Kei's little sister. There's that whole scene where the Ajin just rips open the guards and Izumi too as well, and he's like doing this, like he's controlling the Ajin by closing his eyes. So, I know from what we have seen in Ajin so far, there is the Ajin side and then there's the human side, and both of these, two bodies, they come together and form into one. But how exactly they control them and how exactly they, I don't know. I'm still confused on this whole process of the Ajin. Somebody fill me in. I mean, during the interrogation where Izumi is asking questions to Kei's little sister, we come to find out that in their past, when their puppy died, that is when Kei first experienced the Ajin. And he said, look out, my little sister, look out, because there is a ghost that is coming right at us, But we come to find out that apparently what he was really saying was that it's emerging out of Kei's body. So that's another thing. How do you exactly become an Ajin? Because it can't be genetic, can it? Because then that would mean that Kei's little sister would be an Ajin. We just don't know yet. But I don't know. How exactly do you become an Ajin? Is it something in the brain that makes you think of... there's still many mysteries. But man, when we saw Izumi being ripped open, I was like, damn. She got destroyed. But I knew for a fact that she would not be killed off this easily. And I was right. Apparently she does make a return in episode 4 as an Ajin. Now, what we got in episode 4 wasn't really a lot compared to what happened in episode 3, but from what did happen in episode 4, there are still stuff worth mentioning, such as the Ajin fight. The Ajin fight seemed to go pretty smoothly. I know that this whole animation is done in CGI, but as far as the CGI goes for this fight scene, it wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad as from what I thought it would be, to be honest with you. Because I was wondering, when Ajins are, butting head to head with one another, is the animation gonna falter? I really wanted to know that. But, from what we got in this episode, it was alright. One question, though. I don't understand what happened after the fight scene, okay? Because we see that, Tanaka's Ajin ends up disintegrated and he loses connection with it. But he ends up kidnapping Kei's little sister. Now, where was Izumi? From what we know, she was in the room watching Kei's little sister, trying to protect her from the other Ajin, right? But, completely after this fight, it's like, she's like, I'm out. See ya. Bye. Completely disregard your safety. Like, what the fuck? But man, wow, there is a lot of explanation that needs to go on with Ajin. I mean, we have it to where Izumi is an Ajin, and if that's the case, is her partner, the other detective, the guy with the white hair, is he an Ajin as well? Because if she's an Ajin, we can obviously assume that he knows this, but then that would mean that the government is being infiltrated by Ajin themselves, or either there are some Ajin that are working for the humans. But we do find out that Tanaka ends up kidnapping Kei's little sister in order for Sato and Tanaka to end up getting close to Kei in general, because they want to try to form an alliance with him. And once they end up meeting at the destined location, the shrine, Sato later tells Kei that your sister is alright. There is no need to worry. She's being sent back at the hospital. And then at the end of the episode, 2 tranquilizer darts are shot out, and one of them ends up hitting Kei. But, like, how this whole scene went out, it was still confusing to me as well, because where exactly did the tranq darts come from? Because as soon as that scene goes down, It fades to black, and we still see Sato standing at the shrine, most likely with Kei on the ground and Tanaka there. And they're like, now we need to train him. So who exactly shot the tranquilizer darts? If Sato and Tanaka are alright, you know? It can't be the government, because they would have hopped ship and leave, you know? They would have left as soon as possible, you know? And it can't be... I don't know if it could be another character. Maybe it could be another character that was hiding in the bushes that is going to form an alliance with Sato, Kei, and Tanaka as well. Or maybe it was Tanaka himself. Maybe he just shot the tranquilizer darts when Kei wasn't looking. Because, you know, Sato and Tanaka are very, very mysterious individuals. However, I would say that Sato is probably the most mysterious Ajin of the group, though. I mean, because we see that he wants to make an alliance with Kei and Tanaka. That's pretty much it, though. We don't see any other ulterior goal as to why he would want to rescue Tanaka or get in the middle with Kei, other than the fact, you know, us Ajin need to come together in order to escape the government's clutches. You know, we need to form an alliance. But at the end of this episode, you know, we see that there is possibly a higher ulterior motive on his mind, because at the end of this episode, he says, now we need to train him. And he gives that smile at the end. So probably, yes, we will see character development in Kei's character. He's probably going to be forced to kill in order to protect himself for his own safety against the government and anyone else who is going after the Ajin. But Sato seems to only be using Kei for his advantage. Later down the line, we will probably see that, because there is more to this man than meets the eye. Now, I gotta say this. Kei has probably have to be the biggest douche in anime that I have seen of this year for Winter 2016. He's probably the top contender for biggest douche of Winter 2016 of anime, because of the fact, you know, in the beginning of this series, he completely ignores Kai. Well, I can kind of understand why he would ignore Kai, because Kai is an accomplice and Kei is an Ajin, and if the two were to, you know, communicate with one another, it would rouse suspicion. But still, we find out in this episode that apparently the only reason why Kei ended up hanging out with Kai was just out of sympathy, because it seemed like Kai was a loner and he just hung out with him because he just felt bad for the guy. And then he leaves the person who has been trying to help you escape from the government and the rest of the people going after you. I mean, I get the fact that you don't want to bring Kai to all this because you don't want him getting killed, but damn, man, really? The way... Ugh. Okay, so in episode 5, we get to see in the beginning of the episode that apparently it was in fact Tanaka that ended up shooting the tranquilizer darts at Kei. He apparently had his own Ajin hide up in the trees and controlled the Ajin to actually shoot the tranquilizer darts. And I guess some shady stuff went in the background with Tanaka and Sato to basically send Kei off to the government for experimentation while they make the grand escape. And the whole reason why they're doing this in general is just so that they can get Kei to actually hate humans. So Kei does in fact get caught by the government, and he is currently being experimented on. We get to see that drills are going through his teeth, other parts of his body as well, and it's supposed that apparently they are cutting off some of his limbs as well for experimentation. We don't necessarily get to see this really because they covered it up for the most part. All we're really seeing is blood, but most likely in the manga you will probably see the whole torture scene play out, but we get to see a little snippet of it. Also, what went down in that scene was it was funny because as the whole torture scene is going on, we get to see the humans are on the other side of the glass, and they are watching this whole torture scene play out, and they cannot see the Ajin that is appearing, that has emerged out of Kei's body, and it makes a scratch mark on the wall, and it's like one of the doctors says, hey, was that scratch there before? And I'm like, no, dude, it wasn't. You just, I can't believe you didn't notice this before. I mean, you technically show up at this place to do your job every day. How did you not notice this before? So that was kind of funny. It was really odd and very weird to me. And also, we come to find out as well in this episode that apparently, I remember in my episode 4 review, I ended up saying that Izumi's partner might be an Ajin as well. Come to find out that he is not an Ajin because he cannot see the Ajin that is on the other side of the torture room. The only one who was able to see that is Ajin. So we do get clarification on who exactly can see these Ajins. Ajins can only see other Ajin users. And then, of course, what really went down in this episode that everybody has been talking about is Sato. Sato and Tanaka go in to rescue Kei. Tanaka takes one end while Sato takes care of the other end. And Sato, dude, he's an old guy, but he is a badass. He is a badass. He just goes running in there, shooting the facility, shooting all these soldiers that are trying to shoot tranquilizer darts at them. Because if they just try to kill an Ajin, the more you kill an Ajin, the more powerful they will become, I guess. And we get to see, or they won't be able to feel pretty much any pain in general. And that's what we can see from Sato. Sato has probably been experimented on so many times and probably killed so many times that it is now accustomed to him. He doesn't feel any pain whatsoever, because you see that one scene where they're shooting at him. Tranquilizer darts are going at his arm. He just cuts off his arm and continues to shoot while he's only using one hand. He only has one arm, and he's still shooting. And then all the tranquilizer darts start to come at his chest, and then he's like, bam, dude, that was badass. And then he got up, boom, shot to the face. Like, that whole scene with Sato going, man, I still have my, doubts about Sato, because I know for certain this guy is not a good guy. He has some other ulterior motive on why he's using Kei. That's why at the end of this episode, when he does end up rescuing Kei, he says this operation was a failure because it seems that Kei still likes humans. He doesn't hate them, so to speak. But definitely Tanaka and Sato have an ulterior motive that they are using Kei for their own gain, it seems like. There are still many mysteries regarding the Ajin, especially Izumi. I want to know more about her, what's going on, why exactly there is an Ajin working for the government in the first place. There was a little hint at this episode where her partner was like, if you do not perform the way how I want you to in order to for us to get these answers about the Ajin, then you're gonna be the one on that table torturing them, so being tortured. So yeah. But yeah, other than that, that about wraps up from what I gathered, the most important parts on what happened to each episode of Ajin. Sorry if this video was long. I tried to condense it as short as I possibly could, but hey, at least I'm caught up with Ajin now, and now I have episodes 3, 4, and 5 all review for you guys, so that way next week I could probably check out episode 6. So stay tuned for that. That about does it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about my video of episodes 3, 4, and 5 review. And also, what did you think about these episodes of Ajin? Do you have any theories on what's going on? And if you're a manga reader, fill me in on how exactly this whole process works with the whole Ajin, but do not spoil anything for me. Just let me know in the comments down below if you have read up to the point of the anime, and let me know if it does clarify more on the whole process of what makes an Ajin in the first place. I just want to know more about them without being spoiled, if that makes sense. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about these episodes of Ajin in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a like. And if you want to stay up to date to my future content on this channel, please hit that red subscribe button below, and you'll never miss a video from me. That about does it for this video, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Have a great day.